Hey folks, what's up? Good morning, good morning, good morning. You know who this is, back again with another video. Today I want to comment on this whole Tomi Lahren situation. Now, to give a brief summary on what happened, Tomi Lahren went on The View and she had some comments about her position on the abortion issue. Now, she described herself as a pro-choice conservative. Her words was that she don't want to be hypocritical for being a constitutionalist and for limited government, while at the same time thinking that the government should have say over what happens with a woman's body. So she wants the government to stay out of her guns and all that, and she wants the government to stay out of her body as well. Now, what I particularly want to talk about is two sides. And what I mean by that is two sides got it wrong. There is no side that came out on the right side here. And to get into detail, here's what I mean. Obviously, the left is wrong anyway for the fact that they support the murder of unborn babies. That's full stop. I've explained that in quite a lot of detail on my channel in many, many videos. So nobody is on the right side of this. So when we talk about the left specifically not being on the right side of this, they're not on the right side of this for that reason. So there's really no more need to go into detail with that. But I have to do something that I rarely have to do, but it's needed to do in this particular circumstance. The right, the conservative right, I should say, they got it wrong too. Why did they get it wrong? Because as evil as abortion is, as horrible as it is, two wrongs don't make a right. You don't suspend somebody for their viewpoints just because you disagree with them. I understand that Tomi Lahren has a mind of her own. There's nothing wrong with having a mind of your own. But it is blatantly hypocritical when you talk about being pro-choice one moment, and then at other moments you were talking about how abortion was murder. I don't know if she is just simply trying to say what's comfortable at the time to get her money, or to say whatever will get her fame at a certain point, or whatever will appease who she's talking to. But whatever her motivations are and whatever her goals are, it's still beside the point here. There's no excuse to suspend this lady for what she said. Now, anyone who knows me knows I'm absolutely not defending the murder of unborn babies. And if her true position is that she is pro-abortion, then that's just her, that's her viewpoint. And I will fight against that with every breath that I have. And I will let her know that in supporting baby murder, she's no better than the murderers who actually kill themselves. So let's defeat people on ideas, not on emotions. Let's attack the arguments, not attack people's careers. So nobody came out on the right side of this. By default, the liberal left doesn't come out on the right side of this because they support the legal protections for unborn babies being killed. The right, the conservative right, didn't come out on the right side of this because they acted no different than what we see liberals usually act like. Liberals are usually the ones trying to suppress and stop voices for having dissenting opinions other than their own. When the conservative right does something like this, we show that we aren't any better than they are. And when we do things like this, the left, the liberal left is going to jump all over it. And who could really blame them? They're going to jump all over this not only because the conservative right exposed themselves to be hypocrites in this case. I'm not saying that the conservative right are just outright hypocrites in general, but in this particular circumstance, they were hypocritical. So they're going to jump on that point in that aspect, and they're also going to jump on the point because someone who claims to be conservative, like Tomi Lahren, just did a total flip-flop, and they're going to jump all over that too. So nobody came out on the right side of this, but that's not to say that one side or the other won't benefit more from this. I think in this case, the left, the liberal left, I should say, is going to benefit more from this. And that's unfortunate. That someone who is known to have uncompromising conservative values on a consistent basis would come out and say something like this, because here's the bottom line. Being pro-choice, I call it pro-abortion because that's what it is, but if they want to play with language and call it pro-choice, that's not a conservative viewpoint by any stretch of the imagination. There's nothing conservative about that. What Tomi Lahren says is just dead wrong. There is no inconsistency with being limited government and being pro-life. The Constitution talks about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. In order to enjoy rights, you must have the right to life first. There is no conflict with that. There is nowhere in the Constitution which supports the right to an abortion at all. There's nowhere there. Even those who identify as pro-choice, legally educated people have admitted this. And I'll have a link in the description for more on that. But both sides did not come out on the right side of this whole ordeal with Tomi Lahren. And the right showed themselves to be hypocrites in this circumstance. We cannot act like the liberals do. Two wrongs don't make a right. Abortion is murder, full stop. But we are not going to be able to effectively display that message when we do things like they do. I don't want Tomi Lahren's career to just take a dive because she flip-flopped. Or it could be other things. Maybe she incorrectly defined herself. Maybe she actually intended pro choice to mean something different. Maybe she means that she's for a number of different choices but are limited. She may have been potentially unclear in exactly what she meant. And only time will tell what she truly, truly believes and truly, truly stands by. It seems quite clear to me that she's supporting abortion right now, but I could be incorrect in that assessment. And again, only time will tell. But in her, in offering a defense for her, at the same time, she did a terrible, terrible job at clarifying exactly what she meant. She needs to come out and say, well, do she support the right for women to legally get abortions? Be like 100% clear about that, or does she not? She needs to clear up this whole confusion, and all she has to do is send out one tweet or anything, and this confusion will be 100% cleared up. At this point, I think it's quite clear that she was arguing for abortion, but again, I could be wrong. But anyway, yes, nobody came out on the right side of this. If we as conservatives are going to fight against this evil that's abortion, we cannot look like hypocrites in the process. The liberal left thrives on confusion within the conservative movement. That's the only thing that's going to keep them in being able to enact their worldviews into society is the confusion of the other side. Their ideas cannot stand on their own merits. They have to rely on confusion, misdirection, deception. They have to rely on these things for their views to get enacted into society. We need to, on the conservative right, get our acts together. We cannot be like them. We cannot try to separate ourselves from them and then do the same things that they do. Like I said earlier, let's attack things from ideas, not from emotions. There could have been an easy debunking of her nonsense without her having to be suspended. Then she would have had to have been forced to defend herself while she was still able to work. She should still be able to work, but at the same time, that's not going to guarantee that she doesn't lose a lot of respect from a lot of people, because she has lost a lot of respect from a lot of people. But at this point, I don't really know what to think about her, because she definitely did seem to be consistently conservative for the most part, but she's had her blunders here and there that I thought she was off on, and now I just don't know what to think with this whole bit about her being potentially unclear in exactly what she means by this whole pro-choice statement of hers. I don't really know what to think about her, but I think she has a responsibility to clear all that up, and if she doesn't clear all that up, then she really can't blame anyone but herself for people criticizing her. I mean, she quite often can dish it out, but can she take it just as much as she dishes it out? But like I said, the most important point here is conservatives need to get their act together and not act like liberals. Well, I would say the most important point here is that you shouldn't justify killing babies. That's the first and foremost thing. But in order to deliver that message, it has to be delivered from a platform without confusion. And right now, there is confusion in the conservative ranks. And we need to get our act together before the liberal left jumps all over this and takes advantage of it. And that's my 2 cents. So thank you all for watching. Please share this video, like or don't like, or thumbs it down, and subscribe. And as always, take care, God bless, and peace.